Good, good morning, Major League Trading members. It is 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, December 12th, 2018. This is a reminder to follow your rules and trade your plan. We'll begin today with the economic reports and the trend biases. Before the bell at 7 a.m. we had MBA mortgage applications, and then 8:30 the CPI. After the bell, guys, we're going to have crude oil at 10:30. 1 p.m. 10-year note auction, and 2 p.m. the monthly budget statement. For trend biases of the prior day, bullish ES, NASDAQ, Dow, and the Russell. And in the overnight session, we are neutral across the board. Shorter term time frame, bearish ES, neutral NASDAQ, bearish Dow, bearish on the Russell, and on the midterm time frame, we are bearish across all four indexes as well as the longer term time frame. Moving on to the previous day's summary for the S&P 500, we are actually getting above value now, so you could consider an overnight session bullish. The value area high is 26.69, quarter value area low coming in at 26.37 with the point of control at 26.38, all the way down near that value area low area. Bell to bell high of the prior day we just ran up into, it was 26.75 half with the bell to bell low at 26.21 quarter. Settlement was 26.41 quarter, and the volume on the day was 2,189,000 contracts. Overnight high right now, just put in a new one, 26.75 half with the overnight low coming in at 26.3175. Pivot points, support and resistance levels: R4A 27.4975, R3 27.25, R2 2700 quarter. R1 is 26.7075. Pivot point for the day 26.46. S1 26.16 half, S2 25.9175, S3 25.62 quarter, and S4A 25.3275. For our 10-day range analysis, pulling it up here. The bell-to-bell trading session of the prior day, guys, 54.25 point range. The entire session was 56.75. Overnight, 49 points, almost 50 points on the overnight session. And the first hour was 13.25. So pretty good range, right in our median for the most part. The overnight was the really big move. Index strength was just a big gap up. Index strength percentage change from the settlements. Now the markets didn't look like they did much, but there was a lot of action with those ranges. We closed up or down a quarter percentage point or less. But with that being said, you had huge ranges in the S&P, 54 points. So more than, I think that was like over a 1.5% intraday range, but only closed down 0.07%. So on a closing basis, it looks like the market did nothing, but there was a lot to be said yesterday. S&P down 0.07%, NASDAQ down 0.25 point. Same with the Dow, and the Russell down 0.2 percentage point. Over the last 5 days, the weakest market is the Russell, and the strongest market, relatively speaking, is the NASDAQ. But all markets are down over 4.5% over the last 5 days. So last Monday, we gapped up very aggressively and sold off the entire week. We are year to date down on every market but the NASDAQ. Let's take a look here at these indexes. We have set up, I'm going to start off with the S&P 500 here. I had mentioned this. So yesterday I was looking for a continuation. In the morning we did have this higher time frame resistance level that we have just retested. It's 26.78. If we go out to the hourly chart here, this is a really important level for bears to hold. And we're going to find out this morning fairly quickly whether or not, like yesterday we found out, and it was just a sell all day. We rallied very heavily off the lows, but that low-to-low extension was valid, and that was 26.78 quarter. We talked about that level yesterday. Now, that ended up pulling all the way down into our 50% retracement long. So the low of Monday, too high, ended up trading here. It got a bounce and then a retest on the close, Now we are gapping up 30, almost 32 points right now. We're up 31.5 points with 25 minutes to the NYSE open. And our upside profit target here is 2,700 half based on this halfway back long. If we complete this halfway back long, that would be a very, very bullish sequence. The last time we hit a major halfway back long that completed out of lows, we need to go back to November 23rd. This is like, Thanksgiving week. And then that swing low to high, that pullback traded right off the open, and then we continue to rally in an extension sequence, and that extension sequence failed last Monday, and that's when we began our sell-off. So this is going to be a really big battle, but you can see all of these major lows and even these major highs, like they always start. So you look at the high that we broke down from at the beginning of November, that was a big halfway back short. The high we broke down last week on Monday, that was a big halfway back short. This is the biggest halfway back short. I mean, I'm only on the last 20 days of time frame, but this is the biggest halfway back long, I should say, as far as like the target goes, because the target here is 70 points. The target here is 70 points. 2,700 is that profit target. 2,700 is that profit target. Now, to be sure, there is still major resistance above that we need to get through. So it's been a two-sided tape. Almost every single day, there's opportunity on both sides. So we don't want to get caught in too much of a bias. I think it was pretty easy to get caught in a long bias, especially, but the longs were not working. We broke those extensions early in the morning and sold off all the way into 2 o'clock before we found any support. Very aggressive gap up. That's the same situation we had yesterday. Very aggressive gap up and a sell all day. We're at the same resistance. That could obviously repeat itself. There's 2 levels I'm really looking at for support to continue here. Now, the last time we traded that 50% retracement, that was 26.28 too high. That was front run in the overnight session. We've completed those profit targets. If we're going to be super aggressive and break through 26.78 quarter here this morning, we need to hold this overnight high to high, and we're going to find that out pretty quickly. If we do not have bids coming in at the 26.69 quarter level and holding above that, I would anticipate at least a move down here to 26.61. So that'll give you like 8 points of opportunity before I see any support. And if that doesn't hold, guys, I would start just really focusing on shorts until the longs can confirm. We can easily retest this 50% retracement at 26.30. Want to be aware of that level, so I'm just going to duplicate this support. This is a major support level going forward. If bulls have their way here today, we'll hold the extensions off the open, quickly get above 26.78 quarter, and then this will continue to trade in the same anchor new high sequence. That'll continue to trade in the same anchor new high sequence, and that same anchor new high probably for the, if it trades, say we trade down, hold support, stay above 26.66 and complete 26.80s, that is going to be right off the bat a 14-point profit target. Then we would look for the same anchor new high, and that would be a pretty solid setup, because at that point we would confirm that the extension and the bulls are in control. In the morning, we have to see what the intraday buyers and sellers want to do. If we break this extension, guys, 26.61, and if that doesn't hold, the next stop below would be the full halfway back long at 26.49. So I will mark that up there. So 26.61, 26.49 half if we do not hold this high to high sequence. If we hold it, we're going to go higher, and there would be a possibility of completing the 2,700 profit target. Now, that 2,700 profit target, the full halfway back short from the swing high of December 3rd to low, lines up right at that level. It's like 26, looks like it's 26.97. So that's at that bottom of this, the bottom of this red box. So there'll be a profit target and a halfway back short in really close to each other, as well as a leg start. So I do want to continue to respect this zone, even if we break out. The only thing we could possibly see, and maybe that sets up on Thursday or Friday, is if we just rip through that for whatever, we would then begin needing to hold the high to high extension. So be patient, wait for your setups, keep your stops tight, and that's what I got here for the S&P 500. Moving on to the Russell, which the difference between the Russell and the S&P, guys, we didn't hold this halfway back long in the S&P, or I'm sorry, in the Russell. So we held it in the S&P, we did not hold it in the Russell, we dipped, and we retested Monday's leg start. Now, going into the day, the extension from last Monday's low to low, we still have those valid resistance levels. The 38% retracement is just above us at 1461.3, and then the 50% retracement is untested at 1474. Both of those levels are valid resistance, and I'm not going to draw longs in here just because I'm really not interested in trading the Russell long as it stands right here, because we did not hold this halfway back long. We did not hold it. If we start getting a bit above those resistance levels, we could look at these profit target completions as potential areas we sell off from. But right now, I would consider the Russell still holding. Both the S&P and the Russell are still holding shorts, but at least the S&P held its long. So it gives longs a little room to run. Now, for the oil market, we have that oil inventory report here today. Interesting setup yesterday. Low of the week, Monday to high, held a halfway back halfway back long. I'm getting all mixed up here today. And it's just completed its 52.88 profit target. So really nice move. We didn't trade that till 2 o'clock, and then we rallied into that 52.88. That low too high is a valid setup here. 52.07 is the level. I'm going to box that out and set that alert up. We do have a completion along, and I really like to see those completions, those next moves, especially on this hourly chart. So we'll mark up that 52.07. For the NASDAQ held its long. And the fact the NASDAQ had the best reaction, the extension from the low of Monday to low we're opening well above the 50%. S&P is not well above the 50%. So this extension here, I'm actually going to just delete. It came into play yesterday, but I'm going to delete it. I want to be aware of the full halfway back short. Monday, December 3rd to low, that level is coming in at 68.3875. So set an alert, 68.3875. Let's talk about what we saw here in the overnight session. I'm going to move down to a 3200. Actually, maybe you have to go, yeah, this will work. I can see enough detail here. So from the open, 5 o'clock Chicago time, 6 o'clock New York, the low of the overnight session, the blowback session, too high, traded its 50% retracement and then completed here. So this swing low, too high here is the first level. This is going to be that bulls need to defend zone that I'm going to watch. Go to a 5-minute chart. That's one thing that bothers me about TOS. If you use a box on a tick chart, it does not extend for whatever reason. So we're going to want to see that NASDAQ hold above that 67.79. That's that swing low from roughly around the European Open, too high. And bulls are going to need to hold above that level. Otherwise, we're going to get deeper pullbacks. So if we want to continue in this aggressive uptrend that we're in, that's what we need to hold here in the NQ. All right. And then for the Dow, the 50%, the 50% retracement in the Dow held better than the Russell, but it did pierce. So this is kind of on my back burner for the a long sequence compared to the Nasdaq or the S&P. This would be if the markets are going lower here today, the Dow and the Russell are the ones I'm looking at. Markets are going higher, the S&P, the Nasdaq are the ones I would look at. The high of the Monday of last week, so that same December 3rd high to low, that comes into play at 24,990, and that lines up with the current 61.8 of this extension short. So that level we definitely want to be aware of. So I'm going to set an alert, 24,990, major resistance level above. The upside profit target here is 25,043 from this halfway back long. But like I said, this halfway back long pierce, so I'm only going to leave these major levels up. And let me go ahead and duplicate this box here to that top of that range. All right, so that's what I have here, just paying attention to the major levels. Also just want to be aware of, like, if we do come down and retest here, that's still 24,347. That's still big. If we break through that, guys, our downside targets here, if we continue lower, 23,471. So I don't want to take away from that. There's targets that we could go either direction. It's really going to depend on what the market's doing off the open. For gold, man, people are just blowing me up right now. For gold, the 1242.9 support level, the 50% retracement is untested, and then we would have a second test here of 1246, which is that level that traded just in the close here. Gold continues to be in an uptrend here, guys, and it's holding really nicely, really technical, but I don't know if it's ready to break out yet. There's a Fed meeting next week, and we could see a really big move. If they do not raise interest rates next week, which I think they're, I think Perry mentioned earlier, is like a 76% probability that they get raised. But then, you know, you have Donald Trump tweeting that it would be a really bad idea to do it. So I don't know if, you know, Chairman Powell feels the pressure. He makes the final decision. But that's going to be something big that we're going to want to pay attention to next week for gold. Upside targets on a completion would be 1263. And if we get a higher time frame breakdown, I would really be looking at, where is it? This next halfway back long from the swing low here of 1221.9 to high, and that actually is just like 1239. So bring this up here. So if we 1246.1, then 1242.9, and then below that we got 1239. So each of them is going to have some opportunity if we do break down, but those are the inflection points you're going to want to be paying attention to here in gold. All right, guys, with that being said, that's what I got here for my morning trade plan. I don't really have anything too exciting for currencies right now. Sometimes there's a same anchor new high sequence here in the USD JPY. Same anchor new high in the USD JPY. 113.21 is at 38% retracement. Okay. USD CAD. Yeah, that's all I really like right now. With that being said, I'll share my levels with you guys here in the trade plan library, and we'll get after it. Everybody have a fantastic day. Trade safe. And thank you for watching my morning trade plan. Jack Gleason from Major League Trading. If you enjoyed this content, please give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you're serious about learning how to trade, check out some of our courses. And guys, remember to pursue with passion, remove self-doubt, and succeed with effort. Have a fantastic day. Take care.